The Genkar Dominion had conquered 47 worlds across 12 systems. Each species had followed the same predictable pattern: initial resistance, inevitable defeat, and final submission. The calculations were precise, the outcome predetermined. Earth would be no different. Commander Vecris stood aboard the bridge of the Eternal Sovereign, watching the blue-green planet rotate beneath crimson clouds of orbital bombardment. 3 Earth cities had been reduced to glass. The humans' military infrastructure lay in ruins. By all tactical assessments, they should be broadcasting surrender terms by now. Instead, his communications officer turned with confusion rippling across her facial membranes. "Commander, we're receiving a transmission. It's unexpected." The holographic display flickered to life, revealing an elderly human woman in simple clothing. Her eyes held no fear, only a cold, calculating defiance that made Vecris's dorsal spines twitch involuntarily. "I am Dr. Sarah Chen, speaking on behalf of what remains of Earth's governments," she said, her voice steady. "We acknowledge your military superiority. We understand that resistance is futile, but before you proceed with your occupation, you should understand something fundamental about humanity." Vecris allowed himself a moment of satisfaction. The surrender speech was beginning. "We have studied your empire extensively through the debris of your scout ships. We know how you operate. You don't exterminate species, you enslave them. You harvest their labor, their creativity, their biological uniqueness. You've built an empire on the backs of conquered worlds. Your assessment is correct, human. Submit now, and your species will be integrated into the Dominion. Resist further and the culling will intensify." Dr. Chen smiled, and something in that expression sent an ancestral warning through Vecris's neural network. It was the smile of a predator, not prey. "You misunderstand, Commander. I'm not offering surrender. I'm explaining our response." She paused, letting the weight settle. 72 hours ago, we activated Protocol Prometheus." The tactical officer's voice crackled with alarm. "Commander, we're detecting massive energy signatures across the planet. Nuclear facilities, research centers, industrial complexes, they're all—" Dr. Chen continued, her voice cutting through the chaos. "Every nuclear reactor on Earth has been set to simultaneous overload. Every biological research facility has released its most virulent specimens. Every chemical plant has been breached. We've contaminated our oceans, poisoned our atmosphere, and salted our soil with radioisotopes. In 6 hours, Earth will be uninhabitable for the next 10,000 years." Vecris felt his secondary heart skip in synchronization. "You're bluffing. No species would commit collective suicide. You've never met humans, have you?" Dr. Chen's laugh was brittle, almost mad. "We're the species that invented mutually assured destruction and called it peace. We're the apes who looked at the stars and decided to visit them by strapping ourselves to controlled explosions. We fought wars that killed millions over invisible lines on maps. We faced extinction-level threats and responded by arguing about them." The display split, showing feeds from across Earth, cities burning, riots in the streets, but also families gathered together, holding each other, people singing, praying, crying, defiant until the end. "We studied your 47 conquered worlds," Dr. Chen continued. "The Vryn, who surrendered to preserve their oceans. The Keltar, who submitted to protect their hatchlings. The Morphians, who valued survival above all else. They all chose chains over death, and now they labor in your mines and factories. Their children born into servitude." She leaned closer to the camera, and her eyes burned with an intensity that transcended species. "But humans? We're different. We're the descendants of persistence hunters who chased prey until it collapsed from exhaustion. We're the children of revolutionaries who died rather than kneel. We carry in our DNA the memory of every ancestor who chose dignity over survival, who fought impossible odds, who said no when submission was logical. We're insane, Commander. Beautifully, gloriously insane." Vecris's claws scraped against the command console. "You'll doom your entire species for pride?" "Not pride, principle." Dr. Chen's voice softened. "You see us as resources to be harvested. But we're not inventory. We're not assets. We're free beings, and if we can't live free, then we choose not to live as slaves. You wanted Earth? You wanted humanity? Then have this as your prize, a cautionary tale written in radioactive ash." The science officer's voice trembled. "Commander, the atmospheric contamination is accelerating. If we attempt planetary occupation now, the toxic levels will overwhelm even our environmental suits within weeks. The biohazards they've released, some we've never encountered, This planet is becoming a death world. Dr. Chen nodded. We've left you nothing, Commander. No slaves to mine your ore, no scientists to steal knowledge from, no workers to build your ships. Just a poisoned rock and a lesson. Humanity cannot be conquered because humanity would rather burn. Vekris stood frozen, his tactical training warring with millennia of evolutionary wisdom that screamed at him to flee from something fundamentally wrong. In all the Dominion's conquests, no species had ever responded this way. The mathematics of survival should have prevented it. You're monsters, he whispered. No, Dr. Chen replied, and for the first time sorrow crept into her voice. We're humans, and you should have left us alone. The transmission ended. Within the hour, Earth's atmospheric readings confirmed the apocalypse. The Eternal Sovereign withdrew, leaving humanity to its self-inflicted extinction. But aboard the ship, Vekris composed his report with trembling appendages. For the first time in the Dominion's history, he recommended complete avoidance of a species. Not because they were strong, but because they were willing to embrace absolute destruction rather than submit. The Genkar had conquered 47 worlds. Earth would not be the 48th. Some species, Vekris wrote, are better left undiscovered. Some fires burn too fiercely to contain, and some prisoners would rather die than wear chains, making them the most dangerous beings in the galaxy. Humanity's extinction became legend across the stars, the species that chose death over dishonor, that taught the universe's conquerors a lesson written in their own ashes. They came to enslave Earth. Instead, they learned that some spirits cannot be broken, only extinguished by their own hand.